Hello everyone. I wanted to talk today about using a flip phone. I guess I've seen that this has been really trendy for people. Like people are thinking that it's kind of cool to use a dumb phone or a flip phone. I like calling it a flip phone. I feel like dumb phone is very derogatory towards the phone. I wouldn't want to be called dumb. So I call it a flip phone. Um, this is what it looks like. I was just thinking about this, that I have been using this phone for almost 2 years now. I'm like a week away from it being about, or no, maybe it's a week over 2 years now. So I was just thinking about it, like that it's become such a normal thing for me, a normal part of my life. Even a lot of people around me don't even ask me about it anymore. I remember when I first started using it, it was a constant conversation starter. People would always see me using it, like, "Oh my God, is that a real flip phone? Are you really using that?" Like, people couldn't believe it at first. They couldn't believe that there was no internet on it. I can't watch YouTube videos or something on this. I can't Google things. So that took a little getting used to at first when I was using this phone. Now I think since it's so trendy, I think a lot of people just know that that's a thing that people do. The most common response that I get to people, or when people see me using this, is they'll ask me like, "Oh, is that a flip phone? Like, is that no internet?" I'm like, "Yeah." "That's your only phone?" "Yeah." "Ah, man, I need to do that." That is the most common, by far, thing that people say to me, is that they need to do that, which I think is interesting because, you know, you could just do that. Like, that's what I did. I just did it. The reason that I did this, and the reason why I think a lot of people say they need to do that, is because I spent a lot of time on my smartphone. You know, on iPhone, there's like that app where you can check your screen time. My screen time was always between 8.5 to 10 hours per day. I'm always looking at that phone. And that's not including when I'm on my computer. Like, I would play a lot of League of Legends and stuff like that. So that's the amount of time spent on the phone was not including the other video games or the other stuff I was doing on computer screens. I also worked with computers at the time, or at one time in my life. So I was spending a lot of time looking at the phone and living in that reality rather than living in regular reality. And at some point, I thought, okay, I'm still doing something progressive. I'm still like making myself better because I'm on YouTube, not just, you know, watching some silly, like, I'm not watching Cocomelon or something, right? Like, I'm watching stuff where I'm learning stuff. Like, I'm like, oh man, I'm learning how to like make more money. I picked up a side hustle selling on eBay. So then that was partly why I was on it. I was like, yes, part of my screen time goes to like listing things on eBay, and I'm selling things, and I'm talking to customers, and I'm learning new skills through this YouTube app. And even playing video games, I'm learning things in the games, and that's like, you know, playing games is like good for your brain to some extent, right? I was like, yeah, I'm actually learning a lot. This is good for me, is what I had convinced myself. But it was after I had been watching a lot of YouTube for the week, I started to realize like how much YouTube I was watching, and then I would get to the end of a video and I would understand the point, and I would watch another one. And I had this innate feeling of like, I don't want to stop watching the next video. I don't want to actually go to regular life. I just want to watch another one of the same thing that I just watched. I watched a little over 30 hours of how to build a cabin, and I was like, this is smart. I'm learning a new skill. I feel like I could build a cabin. I'm like getting confidence. I'm like learning something new. I have still not built a cabin. All right, like, I don't know why I had to watch so much on how to build a cabin. Like, if I wanted at some later date, I could go back to it and review cabin building. They'd probably be even better videos or better information by then, because it'd be more relevant to when I'm watching it. So honestly, was that a good use of my time? Probably not. And there's a lot of things that I've watched that are similar to that, where I'm watching a bunch of stuff that, yes, it's technically I'm learning something, but I'm not going to use it for so long that I'll probably have forgotten it by the time I actually need to use it, if I ever use it. So I had the idea of like, I'm going to lower my screen time. I'm going to not look at the phone as much. But even with trying to do that, every time the phone is there, it's out, it's in my pocket, I'm thinking about, I wish I was on that phone. I really wish I was on that phone. So I was like, let me just get rid of the phone. Let me just get rid of the phone. Like I don't need to have that. Um, so yeah, I switched to this and didn't know how if it was gonna be permanent or temporary. I didn't really think about it. I just kind of did it, and now I've gotten to this point where I think it is permanent. Like I don't even think about having a regular phone. I forget that this is not normal to everyone because I'm around my family a lot and other friends. They know I have this phone. Like they're used to it now too. So no one, like I ask people around me like, hey, can you Google this thing for me? And it's like I'm using other people's phone basically. Like I have them search it up. So it's actually even so much better for me. Like I'm never required on a trip to like do the GPS or find out what there is to eat around here because I can't look it up. So I just think that it's been fun for me to have this. I feel very free. I feel like I don't think about my phone anymore. I don't think about like having to look up something. And now I'm so far away from it. When I see someone else use their phone, I feel like people move so fast on their phone now. They check things so quickly, they scroll so quickly. I can't even keep up now. Like now I just feel like I'm a boomer. I'm like getting older. I'm just like, how are you guys moving this fast? I think that's a good thing. I think that it's made it to where I can really live in the now moment and I'm not constantly thinking about what's next or what else do I need to do or I need to make more progress faster. I'm happy about it. I would recommend it, especially if you feel like you're addicted to your cell phone now and you're addicted to like YouTube or TikTok or anything like that, or video games, social media. Like I haven't used social media in like 3 years, so I would recommend that, and I think that it's a really freeing feeling. It feels good to not let something be in control. Not that nothing has control. I mean, I still like things, but it feels good to be free of at least one thing that I feel like is kind of taking over a lot of people's lives. So it's given me the space to be quiet in my head and like figure out what I actually want to do.